Crocheters, it's finished. Another beautiful blanket pattern by Bag O' Day Crochet using the box stitch. This is also known as corner to corner, but this blanket is not worked corner to corner. It starts with a rectangle in the center, and after about 4 rows worked back and forth, it becomes a 1 round repeat, going around the rectangle with increases at each corner. I started with Caron's Simply Soft in Super Duper Yellow, and then I alternated with self-striping Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel in the colorway called Gelato's My Motto, which has 4 different shades of green and a light gray. The pattern gets a rating of 10 out of 10 from me. Why? Because it is easy and pretty. It is, like I said, a 1 row repeat after row 4, I think. If you feel you might get bored with a 1 row repeat, use several colors, or even easier, a self-striping yarn to keep it interesting. I loved seeing how this blanket's pattern unfolded, and I think the addition of the bright yellow really livened it up. The yarns also get a 10 out of 10 from me. The Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel was nice to work with. No splitting, maybe 2 or 3 knots over the 2 cakes that I used. It's soft with a good stitch definition. And the Caron Simply Soft is also soft and adds a nice drapey weight to the blanket. It can be a little splitty, but worth taking a little extra care for that softness. I have found that using the right hook with Caron Simply Soft makes all the difference. I used a 5.5 millimeter Clover Soft Touch, which worked out perfectly. Why does the hook matter, you ask? For comparison, here is the Clover Soft Touch next to a Susan Bates 5.5 millimeter. See how the Clover has a much more rounded tip and a shallower throat? For me, that seems to work much better when using Caron Simply Soft yarn. It doesn't get snagged or caught up with that smoother tip. I have a couple tips in working this pattern. Put a stitch marker on your first corner, and on every corner if you like, but especially on the first one of each round. With this scallopy border, it can be easy to work right over a corner or lose track of where your round started when you get going. It took me several rounds to be comfortable knowing what the corners should look like after you work the increase. Also, count the shells after every round to make sure the long sides agree with each other and the short sides agree with each other. It's easy to do if you fold the blanket and line them up to count them. Yes, one side points in a different direction than the other, but they can still be lined up enough to count. Speaking from personal experience, these 2 tips might keep you from having to frog several sides of a round because you lost track. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments. Thanks, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's totally free. Also hit the bell button so you don't miss my next video.